I'm
Yeah.
going to say I'm Sandy Parker Martinez now, not Sandy Parker, and I'm here with Kris
Yeah.
King, who I love to pieces. And we are looking at the question, what do women need to have a good life?
Yeah.
A good life. And so I'm asking Kris, what do women need from your perspective to have a good life?
You know, first of all, for me, it's about being intentional. And I myself found, I thought, what is my life going to look like going forward after empty nest and all that? And I'm like, what I want it to look like at the end. And then I've been working backwards from that. And so I think just being intentional and doing things scared. Sometimes we don't want to walk in our giftings and stuff. And we have these dreams and we keep waiting for permission. You have it, go, do one step at a time, and nobody else has your talents in your way. And I just feel like a lot of times we just put our light under a bushel instead of letting it shine. And it drives me crazy because I don't want to get to the end and go, I wish I shoulda, I coulda. No, just do it and do it a little bit at a time. It's not like you got to do it all at once. You just have to be intentional, and then that puts you in control over it.
I love
So,
your answer so much because
yeah.
my one of the things I say is that you're either creating your life or you're
Mhm.
inheriting one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't design your life, you're just going to get what you get.
Yeah. And I see so many people just doing that. They don't wanna, they're so scared of failure or being embarrassed or whatever. Listen, I spent that time being, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be embarrassed." And now I just do whatever. I shock my own self sometimes what I am, willing to do in the name of fun and being with my family and friends and, being bold in my faith and my, speaking engagements and stuff. I mean, I literally crack my own self up sometimes because I've given myself freedom to just be
Mhm.
me. I don't hold it back anymore, which I'm sorry that it's sort of an age thing. I'm going to be 63 this week. And I guess it took me till my mid 50s probably to get that comfortable. But I was like, listen, I don't have time to worry about anybody else right now. I got to worry about myself and give myself permission. It's already been granted by God. He gave me gifts and talents and he's given me the permission. But goodness sakes, just give yourself permission to be yourself and go for it. We listen to the wrong voices all our lives. And I'm ready for women to just, what is that inside voice saying to you, and just go do it.
I love that so much. Well, I
Yeah.
remember when you said, I want to be a speaker, and you weren't a
Mhm.
speaker at the time.
Right.
How did you become a speaker?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know what my purpose was. I mean, I'd been a mom, I'd been a volunteer, I'd been in the workforce, I did my gig with my degree and all that stuff, but I didn't feel fulfilled. And so literally it's 10 months ago, I mean 10 years ago this month, Sandy, that I
Is it?
took this new persona on of um walking in my calling. And I always say I've always been a talker, so it wasn't a leap that I would be a speaker. And I've done it in other ways, but I wasn't doing it for God. And that's what is my heart's desire, is to spend my days because he's the breath I breathe. So I don't know how to do anything else without him in it. So it was time to start doing that. And it was funny because that scared me. Standing up in front of, 2,000 people and giving a speech for something or doing a PTA meeting or whatever it was, junior league stuff, boards, all the things. It never bothered me to speak. But somehow that thing of being a speaker for God, that scared me to death. But then he was like, "But I made you that way. I made you for this." So then I was like, "Okay, let's go." And I've done the work. I explored possibilities through speaker conferences and writer conferences, and I got better at my craft. And then you do one, and then that begets another one, and that begets another one. And the author part of this gig the last 10 years was that I'd always been a writer. Girl, I used to get in my little closet when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I had this little shelf in there, and I would make forms How boring. But I loved it. I would make forms and then I would fill them out like a little secretary, you know? But I've always been a writer. I wrote poems, I wrote song lyrics, everything since I was a little kid. But I never showed anyone because that's scary, right? But it'll be, yeah, this summer it'll be 10 years ago that I wrote my first book where I just poured out my heart that I could put it in pulpwood and hand it to someone and go, here, this is kind of what I think. And ever since that, now I've got 5 books and, I'm working on 4. I've got 4 children's books if I ever get them illustrated, so doing it a little bit at a time, understanding the process and realizing it's not new. That's how God made me since I was a child. This is what I'm living what I'm supposed to be doing. So it feels comfortable now.
Oh, that's so encouraging. Well, thank you so much. And one thing I'm taking away is I'm not going to wait for permission.
Right.
I have it. You gave it to me right here. I heard you
Yeah,
say so.
that's right.
Well, thank you, Kris, for being with me. I'm going to tell people how to reach you. And is there a best way?
Website krisking.org. It's KRISKING.org.
Thanks for being willing to be courageous out
Sure.
there, speak your voice, share your voice, and be a model for us that we can do the same.
I don't want to regret. We get one shot at this life, so I want to do it right.